Today you are going to hear a very unique and interesting true experience that one of my friends from the field of occult science has shared with me. The night breeze danced among the leaves of the ancient trees that surrounded the ashram, bringing with it the whisper of forgotten secrets. Nandini, with her heart beating to the rhythm of a restless curiosity, ventured further into the twilight of the garden. The sadhana of Apsara, a practice that had begun with spiritual fervor, had now been tinged with a disturbing nuance, a shadow that extended from the limits of her perception. Since she had begun her rituals, seeking the grace and connection with the celestial realm of the Apsaras, Nandini had experienced a series of strange events. At first, they were just flashes, an elusive figure at the end of a hallway, an ethereal melody that seemed to emanate from nowhere, the intoxicating scent of unknown flowers that floated in the still air. She had dismissed them as products of a mind intensely focused on the transcendental, manifestations of her own psyche striving to reach the divine. But the incidents became more tangible, more persistent. Objects that changed place without logical explanation. Indistinct whispers that seemed to call her by name in the stillness of the night. The constant feeling of being watched by invisible eyes. The air around her often suddenly cooled, and a pang of icy fear ran down her spine for no apparent reason. One night, while performing her offerings by the small pond in the garden, the calm waters stirred without the influence of the wind. A form emerged from the depths, not solid, but like a ripple of silver light that took the vague silhouette of a woman of dazzling beauty. Her eyes shone with a strange intensity, and although she did not utter a single word, Nandini felt a surge of contradictory emotions, fascination and a primal terror that froze her blood. The vision vanished as quickly as it appeared, leaving behind only the echo of an inexplicable presence. After that night, fear began to infiltrate Nandini's devotion. She doubted every shadow, jumped at every rustle of the leaves. The ashram, which was once a sanctuary of peace, now felt like a space charged with an invisible tension. Her dreams were populated by ethereal figures that called her with seductive and at the same time threatening voices, leading her to labyrinths of light and darkness, where the line between reality and illusion blurred completely. She sought advice from the guru of the ashram, an old and wise man, with eyes that seemed to contain the history of countless sunrises and sunsets. She told him about the apparitions, the whispers, the constant feeling of being watched. The guru listened to her attentively, his face unperturbed while Nandini recounted her experiences in a trembling voice. When she finished, the guru sighed deeply. "Nandini," he said in a soft but brave voice, "the sadhana of Apsara is a powerful path, a bridge between our world and that of celestial beings. But like all power, it carries its own risks. Sometimes by opening these doors we attract not only the light, but also the shadows that dwell in the interstices." "Shadows, Guruji?" Nandini asked, her voice barely a whisper. "What kind of shadows?" "Not all Apsaras are beings of pure light and benevolence," the Guru explained. "Some are bound to this plane by unfinished business, by unsatisfied desires, or even by dark intentions. Your intense sadhana may have attracted the attention of one of these entities." Nandini's heart sank. The beauty she had glimpsed in the pond now seemed tinged with a sinister ambiguity. The connection she had sought with such devotion might have exposed her to something much more dangerous than she had ever imagined. "What should I do, Guruji?" she pleaded, her eyes full of anguish. "You must be strong, Nandini," the Guru replied. "You must purify your mind and your spirit even more. Strengthen your protection through prayer and meditation. Do not let yourself be carried away by fear, for fear is an open door for these entities. And above all, you must discern the true nature of what visits you. Do you feel a benevolent presence or one that seeks to disturb your peace?" The Guru's words resonated in Nandini's mind. She reflected on the sensations that accompanied the apparitions. While fear was often her first reaction, there were also moments of a strange fascination, a feeling of melancholic and yearning beauty. Could it be that the entity that visited her was not malicious, but simply different? Following the Guru's advice, Nandini intensified her spiritual practices. She spent hours meditating, chanting ancient mantras that filled the ashram with vibrations of purity. She surrounded her space with sacred symbols and burned aromatic herbs whose smoke rose like an invisible barrier against negative influences. The manifestations did not cease completely, but they changed. The whispers became clearer, although they remained incomprehensible. The apparitions became less frequent, but when they occurred, Nandini tried to observe with a calm mind, looking for signs of intention. One night, while meditating under the light of the full moon, she felt a presence behind her. It was not the cold and oppressive sensation of before, but a soft warmth, as if a warm breeze enveloped her. She opened her eyes slowly, and saw an ethereal figure floating a few meters away. It was the same woman she had seen in the pond, but this time her face seemed less distant, almost sad. The figure extended a translucent hand towards Nandini, and in her palm appeared a flower she had never seen before. It was of a deep blue color, almost black, and emitted a soft pulsating glow. Nandini felt a surge of curiosity instead of fear. Slowly, she extended her own hand and took the flower. Upon touching it, a flood of images inundated her mind. She saw a beautiful Apsara, banished from her celestial realm, for a forbidden love with a mortal. She saw her loneliness, her longing for her lost home, her eternal sadness. The flower she held was a solidified tear, a symbol of her pain. At that moment, Nandini understood. The entity that had been visiting her was not a malevolent shadow, but a solitary spirit, trapped between two worlds, perhaps seeking a connection, a way to be remembered. Her sadhana of Apsara had acted as a beacon, attracting her to the light of her devotion. With this new understanding, Nandini's fear dissipated, replaced by a deep sense of empathy. She continued her sadhana, but now with a different intention. She not only sought the grace of the Apsaras, but also offered comfort and understanding to the wandering spirit she had found on the threshold of her practice. The visits continued, but the atmosphere had changed. The tension had dissipated, replaced by a peaceful coexistence. Sometimes, Nandini felt a gentle caress on her cheek, or perceived a sad melody floating in the air. She knew that the Apsara was still there, a mysterious but no longer terrifying presence, a reminder that the universe is vast and contains wonders and mysteries that often escape our understanding. Her experience, which had begun with the horror of the unknown, had transformed into a moving encounter with loneliness and spectral beauty, a testament to the intricate dance between light and shadow on the spiritual path.